Hi, my name is Joanna Whitney. I am an intuitive artist, a student of natural law, and an energy practitioner. And of late, people have been coming to me and asking me how to have a spiritual awakening, how to get in touch with God, how to hear God's direction, how to live by God. And I think this has to do with what's going on in the world, how the dark occult Luciferians are dismantling society and making chaos, um, grooming people to be extremely self-centered, um, materialistic, and it's kind of making life meaningless because we don't care about each other anymore. We don't care about the earth. We don't care about our brothers and sisters, the other sentient beings. The collective doesn't care. They just care about material things that are created by humans or AI or whatever, the internet. So the result is like emptiness, feeling of listlessness, not knowing um, where we're going or what we're doing. For those of us who don't play that game, the materialistic game, it's easy to maybe feel like self-conscious or fearful of the future or whatever because the collective is so loudly shouting that this is the direction that they're going in. I mean, I've even heard that people can pay with their palms at Whole Foods now. And some of them are implants and some of them are just paying with your palm. I hope I never participate in that crap. And I don't have to because um, I live by natural law. I get direction from what I call God, but could be called the creator, natural law itself. Um, I'm not religious. I do like Jesus because he embodies natural law, but I don't follow the Bible. So I think some people are interested in how I came to that, what I do, and how I do it. So I'm going to go back to the kybalion and also look at some spiritual principles next to the kybalion, some other spiritual principles, and look at at the kybalion, starting with the law of mentalism. Um, and I'm going to start here on page 85 or page 15 of the kybalion once again. I'm skipping ahead uh, to chapter 2, where it says the principle of mentalism, the all is mind, the universe is mental. And it says this principle embodies the truth that all is mind. It explains that the all, which is the substantial reality underlying all the outward manifestations and appearances, which we know under the terms of, quote, the material universe, the phenomena of life, matter, energy, and in short, all that is apparent to our material senses is spirit, which in itself is unknowable and undefinable, but which may be considered and thought of as an universal, a universal, infinite living mind. It also explains that all the phenomenal world or universe is simply a mental creation of the all, subject to the laws of created things, and that the universe as a whole and its parts or units has its existence in the mind of the all, in which the mind we live and move and have our being. In which mind we live and move and have our being. This principle, by establishing the mental nature of the universe, easily explains all of the varied mental and psychic phenomena that occupy such a large portion of the public attention and which, without such explanation, are non-understandable and defy scientific treatment. I think I'll stop there. So basically, that's the definition. So we don't have to go into it anymore. So basically, It's all spirit. So the question next would be how to gain access to spirit. How do I have to live such that I gain access to spirit? And that would be for everything. Like you no longer have to listen to any scientific malarkey that's out there. Scientism malarkey that's out there. I don't use science. I use intuition only. And maybe that's what it is, but maybe that's dumb, or maybe that's naive of me, or maybe that's ignorant or something. Maybe somebody would think that, but I don't care. This is just how I'm going to live. I know that I will return to spirit at some point, and I have no fear of that. I have no desire to remain in this personality, in this embodiment, in this meat suit for any longer than I am meant to be here. I'm not going to speed it up or anything. I'm not going to interfere with it because I am part of the mental construct of in the mind of the all. So I have no business messing around with how long I'm here for, because that's some contract that I may have made with, the greater spirit before I came here or whatever. I don't know, and I don't need to know. But I do know that I do believe and know intuitively and experientially that this is true, that the all is spirit. Everything. And it's been proved by quantum mechanics now, right? When they look under the microscope and they see that matter is actually made of not much of much. It's not much there. It's all made of the same thing. And there's no way to explain what makes up a tree versus what makes up a dog, because it all looks the same under the microscope. So I just am not going to bother with that. Instead, what I'm going to do is what I always do, which is that I try to align myself with spirit using certain principles that are contained in this book, as well as the principles of morality. Do unto others as I would have others do unto me. Treat others the way I would like to be treated, and don't participate in theft and the many forms of theft. There are 5 basic forms of theft: theft of property, theft of sexual space, theft of intellectual space, theft of um, information, which is coercion, like not giving all the information. I may be missing one right now, but I, I try to practice honesty. I try to keep my word. Um, I try to, if I have a negative thought against someone, I immediately try to reverse that if I catch it. Pray for them. Um, so there's a lot of things that I do that I'm going to get into in more specific detail. But one of the things I do is I pray, and then I wait and I wait for the answer. And however, the thing about this is that it's not that easy. Like I can't just snap my fingers and gain access. If I happen to be blocked spiritually, I may not get the answer. So that's one thing I have to check and see if I am blocked. If I am, I'm just going to throw this out now, angry at anyone, including myself. Um, that's going to block me spiritually from receiving any answers from the creator. So I try to clear away all angers and resentments from my mental space and keep them away on a daily basis. And resentment, for example, is broken down the word sentir, which means to feel. Means over and over, and ment, mind. So to feel over and over in my mind. So if there's anybody that you are ruminating about, from childhood or present day or whatever, those ruminations will block you from intuitive inspiration from the creator. And so how to get rid of those. Um, and some of them may be justified. Some of them may be totally justified. Like you may have been traumatized by someone and you may think about them all the time and think about, getting revenge and all that. But in fact, um, this is where two wrongs don't make a right. And doing that is only going to cause you more more pain. I take resentment, I take the poison to kill you, but actually I'm the one who's going to be killed by having the resentment. And the thing is that it takes more effort to be positive than to be negative in this world that we're in. Um, the Chinese say that the ancient Chinese say that it takes more muscles to frown than it does to smile, but I don't have that experience. To me, it takes more muscles to smile than it does to frown, but it doesn't matter. I do still need to make that effort these days. I have to do that. That is a requirement that I make the effort to be optimistic or make the effort to um, try to see that someone that I'm resentful towards is just a sick person and that I can pray for that person. I mean, my father was a violent person and I live with the results of that. And I have to do a lot of work to overcome the experience of living with him. However, what I do is I just think, well, I must have made that choice uh, coming in preconception. I must have, made a decision to have this person as my father so that I would grow into the person that I am today. Without that, without any kind of obstacle, you're not going to become a strong person of character. And I do understand my father. I feel very sorry for him. He never recovered from his um, maladjustment to life, let's say. And he alienated everyone who loved him. And I feel like that's very sad. I feel sorry for him. Um, yes, I have still probably, and will always have a lifetime of work to do as a result of growing up with that from 0 to 7 during brain development, but that's just my path. So I have forgiven him. There's a difference between forgiving someone and still having work to do yourself. It's not like we come here, just to enjoy ourselves here. That to me, that is not what Earth is about. Earth is a school, a spiritual school. So, um, there's other people who I may feel wronged by or whatever, but again, I personally feel that it is my responsibility to break the um the mental habit of rumination over that. I mean, I may have learned that mental habit of rumination. It may make me feel um, in control of the situation, but that's an error. And so, if I want to have connection to the higher power, to God, to the creator, and get intuitive thought and get direction, I have to get rid of anger and anger towards myself. that is something that you'd have to really look closely at, because usually there's other people that you have decided you are not allowed to be angry at, so you're angry at yourself instead. And you have to dig beneath the surface. If you truly are angry at yourself, you have to ask yourself what the payoff is for being angry at yourself, because how are you supposed to know different? Like, you probably made the best decision you could make at the time, given the information you had. And then, you know, you're holding up too higher standard for yourself, given the information you had. That's a reason to try to find a relationship with God, really, the creator. I don't do well in this world. Like, I do not understand how this world works, especially now that it's being turned upside down into a materialistic feeding frenzy of self-centeredness. I don't relate to it at all. So I just um, adhere to the spiritual principles, and I just basically ignore everything. I don't buy into things like your credit score. I'm sure I have no credit score right now because I haven't bought anything on credit for, let's see, probably 20 years. I don't use credit cards. I only use debit cards because in nature there is no credit. So just because the system demands that I need to have credit for some reason, to buy big things like houses or whatever, I just trust that um, I'll just be given a different way to do things, as I always am. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's just so many things. Like, this past week I had to go to the hospital because a close friend of mine was in the hospital and he passed away. And I was his medical proxy. I had to make a lot of decisions for him. Um, just the way the hospital was run, it was amazing to me how dishonest everyone was, and how the whole thing was run on lies, cheating, and theft. And they stole his property too. That was the other amazing thing. At the end, his property was stolen. All of his ID cards and everything, plus his clothes and everything that would have been of sentimental value to me, was all stolen. And it seems like it was a racket. And the fact that people actually live, they 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 are in that environment and participate in that lifestyle is amazing to me. Like, how could you live like that? I couldn't live like that and remain a functioning member of society. That the lies, the dishonesty, the deceit, um, it would kill me. It would eat me alive from the inside out. So I don't have to live like that. I can live according to natural law, regardless of how everything's falling down around our ears right now in the dystopian future or whatever. I can live by natural law and be safe and protected and grow spiritually and continue to live the way that I always have. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, and I'm going to be relating it to the all. Like, we're learning how to apply these principles is what I'm going to be looking at, applying these principles to um, actual practical experience. Because otherwise, what's the point? It's just another book we read, move on. But if in fact you have to, you go with the premise that the all, the material universe, is spirit, well, we can work with that, can't we? The dark occult Luciferians want us to believe that the all is material, and that's a total lie. And I'm not going with it. So, um, then I won't be under mind control if I don't participate in that. So, until next time, that's what we're going to be talking about on this channel for a long time, as long as it takes to get through um, the material that I have collected. Until next time.